On May 10th, 2023, Nico and I hit the woods. We wanted to hit 3 different locations that day, which is an ambitious plan, but we had a lot to do. The first location was going to be Easter Island. We wanted to walk the roads because this is the first chance we had had to get to the location since February when the snows came, and the snows just broke the week before. We walked the roads and didn't find any signs of Sasquatches, but that wasn't our only point in being in the area. We also had an LDR, a long duration recorder, to exchange, and also to check a camera that we put out on a very strategic choke point. Well, we didn't get anything on the camera at all because it was buried under snow for most of that time. So we just changed the batteries in the cards and got out. And the LDR didn't come up with anything either, unfortunately. The second spot we went to is way down the Clackamas at a spot we call the playground. Well, at the playground, there's been daylight sightings, there's been track finds, there's been other stuff. And again, it's hard to get to this area because of snow. But again, the snow had broke and we went to the area. We looked around, we didn't find any prints or anything in the ground, but we did find a lot of sign of other animals and also just some cool nature stuff.
I'm picking some Indian plum because the leaves, you suck on them for a little bit, they taste like cucumber.
Here. Really?
Yeah, try it out.
Okay. Just suck on them?
Yeah, just like chew it up a little bit and suck on them.
Okay. How long does it take?
Like,
yeah, there is. Huh.
Yeah.
Wild. Our final stop is where Keith and I cast a couple footprints and handprints on April 16th, 2023. I just wanted to show Nico the area. We went down to the swamp and looked around, and even in the few weeks that I had been gone, green stuff is coming up and it's very difficult to actually see the substrate there because all the plants were in the way. At this point, we'd already put 5 or 6 miles under our boots that day, and it was getting late in the day. It's like 5:30 in the afternoon. So I put a question to Nico. Do you want to go further down the river, or do you want to go back to the car? What are you feeling like? And Nico kind of came out of the womb and said, let's go that way. And it's like, that way? All right, sure, let's go that way. So we started going off trail, kind of parallel to where the road was, even though the road was quite a distance uphill from us. And lo and behold, about 100, 200 yards away, there's another swamp. I wasn't even aware of this swamp. So we started looking around and, found a few interesting things, but nothing Bigfoot related that we saw, And then we eventually made our way up to the road a few hundred yards away from where we had parked. On the walk back to the car, I was scanning the road for possible footprints. I was also scanning the side berm here, and lo and behold, could it possibly be? Yes. Finger marks. Look at that. Oh my God. Could that be another one? These are going to be difficult to cast. I mean, look at the slope on this thing. It's like, it's not quite a 90-degree angle, but it's way more than a 45-degree angle. These are not going to be easy to cast at all, but I have to try. I have to make this really, really thick because that is the steepest incline I've ever had to cast on. When I cast those handprints at the Olympic Project site, the second nest site, they were kind of like this too, but even that wasn't this steep, especially that first one. And since the fingers went up and into the ground, I have to figure out a way to get the plaster up and into those fingerprints, those finger holes, or it's not going to look like anything but a big old blob. You see what I'm doing? I'm like throwing it up and into that stuff. I'm not sure how else I'm going to be able to get it in there. I don't want any bubbles in there though. That one's going to be so much easier.
It's a good thing that's the better looking one too.
Yeah.
Right. Go.
Yeah, that was fast. Holy smokes, that didn't give me any time at all. It's already hardened.
Wow.
Okay, well, next round. This trackway looks to us like it was kind of scurrying up the slope here and heading off into the woods. So clearly we can track this thing further, and it had to come from somewhere. Let's see where it came out of the woods on the other side of the road.
There's another one right there. Possibly right there too.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Where do you think you have something?
Right here.
Okay, so that means, oh, there's something there.
Right there.
Yeah, that's
here.
real vague, real hard to see. Here,
There.
put a tape on the heels. Here's the heel here. Okay, that's probably 14 or 15.
I got, if we're going right, 14's right here.
But 14's right there. We found footprints on the other side of the road, and that's quite a good step length as well. Okay, heel to heel, what do we got, Nico?
49.
49 inches. That's a good long step. Tracking this thing further into the woods was a little tricky because there's so much mossy substrate here. But Nico's a trained tracker. I'm pretty okay at tracking. I'm not the best, but I'm okay. And together we located the trackway. Okay, tell us what you found.
All right. So we've got the possible handprints right down over here.
Yep.
So
down there. So we crawled up here. This is the obvious route that we were taking.
I hopped up there, jumped over here. Now I'm here. I'm looking at this right here in the ground. Looks like, I'll move that stick. Toes up here, all the way down here. We got heel right here. And look, there's actually like you can see the mid-tarsal ridge right here because the heel is down lower. It hung a right at the top of the hill here and started heading parallel to the road. At one point, it seems that it even stepped on this stick or this log right here and broke it. Kind of looks like something stepped on the end and it cracked. A little further from that log, we found more tracks.
Wow, look at that.
That
is one.
That is totally one.
Okay, so it came over this way. That is a good looking print.
That's a really good one.
I wonder if we can get a cast out of that.
That one might be castable.
This is the clearest track we have, so we have to try to cast it. This was a difficult casting day, but with an amazing prize at the end of the effort. You know, handprints and footprints in the same location. And this location is what, 50, 60, 70 yards away from where Keith and I cast other footprints and handprints just a few weeks before. The casts themselves are not the best. I mean, most people just looking at this would not say, oh, that's a hand. But I know it's a hand. You can see the finger marks in the side of the hill. You can see where the palm's impressed. But when you try to pull that out of the ground, it looks like a kind of a sloppy mess in a lot of ways. But fingers, there's palms. These are hands. Not all handprints look like hands because, you've heard me say it before, the shape of the print is not the shape of the foot, or in this case, the hand. It is the shape of the damage done to the ground by the foot, or hand in this case. And really, this thing was scrambling up the hill, probably go pop, pop, pop as it went up the hill. We wouldn't expect a bunch of solid handprints in there, but you can see the fingers. You can actually see some sliding here. You can see where the fingers hit twice, like here and there. These are interesting casts. But that's not all. There's more to this story because I came back 2 days later to look at the other impressions that were present. And when I did, I found even more. And I'm going to save that for the next section of this video. Thank you very much for being members of the North American Bigfoot Center. I cannot wait to tell you the rest of this story. It is fantastic. I think you're going to be really stoked because I was out of my mind. This has been one of the most exciting Bigfoot months I have ever had, and I'm so thrilled to be able to share it with you, our museum members. Thank you very much for your support and your kind words. I really, really appreciate it.